My friend or family member has just been arrested, and how do I get him out of jail? That's a good question. Criminal defense lawyers can help with that situation, and I'll let you know today sort of how that process works and how long police get to hold people in a jail and so forth. So when somebody is arrested and taken to a jail, law enforcement can either book them and release them, or they can send it over for charges, or they can put them on what's called a 36-hour hold. So here's how that works. Let's say your family member or your friend has been arrested and they're in jail, and they have to be to work the next day, or they're supposed to be leaving town or whatever, and you can call a criminal defense lawyer and ask us to get on it right away to try to get them out. There's a couple different ways that law enforcement can deal with this, or prosecutors can deal with it. If they want to further investigate the matter and decide if someone should be charged, they can hold them for 36 hours, but the 36 hours doesn't start to run until midnight. So if you're arrested at 10 in the morning, the 36-hour clock doesn't start until the next midnight. So basically that whole day is a freebie for the police and for the prosecutors. If you're arrested at 10 p.m., the 36 hours doesn't start until midnight, which is about 2 hours later. And so basically it gives them one full day and then up to lunch the day after that to decide whether to charge them and get them in front of a judge or release them pending further investigation. So oftentimes if law enforcement arrests someone for, let's say, an alleged assault, and it's a felony level thing, law enforcement will put the person in jail and they'll be detained, and then law enforcement will write up reports and they send them over to the prosecutor's offices. For felony, it's called the county attorney's office in Minnesota, in whatever county this allegedly occurred in. The prosecutors usually have one prosecutor per office assigned for that week to do what's called charging. Those prosecutors will review the police reports and determine A, whether there's probable cause to charge a person with any crimes, and B, if so, which crimes they ought to be charged with. Another way this can happen is law enforcement can charge some things out kind of immediately, especially misdemeanors and the like, and they may or may not hold somebody for that or for a warrant for their arrest or something. It just depends. So how we can help, us criminal defense lawyers, is number one, in certain situations we can call prosecutors, especially if we don't believe there's probable cause or if they've got the wrong person, and try to get this sorted out quickly so that your loved one or family member or friend is not sitting in jail while this 36 hours plus goes on. Another thing about the 36 hours, weekends don't count. So the worst case scenario is somebody gets arrested on a Thursday at noon. Well, the 36 hours doesn't start till Friday, but weekends don't count either. So Friday would burn up 24 hours. The weekend doesn't count, and then they still get to hold them for another 12 hours on Monday. Holidays don't count either. So sometimes people can be sitting in there for 4, even more days, depending on whether there's holidays and weekend time in there. But if you call a lawyer, we can try to get it sorted out quickly, and sometimes can convince law enforcement or prosecutors to release a person pending further investigation. Other times we can get them to agree to a bail if somebody's going to be charged. Rather than waiting for the person to get in front of a judge a day and a half later, we can sometimes get the prosecutors to agree to a bail or other terms or conditions to get the person released. We do that so that somebody might not lose their job if they are supposed to be to work the next day, or they're supposed to catch a flight out of town, or some other things like that. So no criminal defense lawyer can promise every time that if we get hired we can get someone released, but the things that we can help do if your loved one has been arrested and is in jail pending charges is, number one, try to get them released early with or without bail, and second, we can go and counsel them about what to do and not do when they're in jail. The third benefit that can happen is sometimes we can get involved in an investigation right away and try to gather helpful evidence before it goes away. So each case is unique. You should talk to a lawyer and determine what can the lawyer do and what will that cost. And obviously you usually have to pay a lawyer to get down to a jail, especially if they're going to drop everything and do that for you, but oftentimes it's well worth the price. If you have any further questions about what to do when your family member or friend is held in a jail or has just been arrested and you want to try to get them out, you can call me. I'm criminal defense attorney Ryan Pacyga. You can find me at arrestedmn.com or call me at 612-339-5844. If you have more questions about this video, just simply enter them and I'll try to get back to you on those. And if you like this, you can subscribe to my channel. Thanks.